Hi, and welcome to another episode of Art of Magic with me, your host, Jamie Salinas. As you can see, I'm in a new location. Where am I? I'm at the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Houston. I'm here to see a fantastic performer. Who is it? Stick around and find out.
Welcome to the show, Art of Magic, with your host, Jamie Salinas.
And we're back. As you can see, we are in this fantastic room, and I'm here with the man. This is Mr. Ben Jackson.
Hey team, how's it going?
Speaking of team, you have a team effort here to put on this type of event, and what we're talking about today are the walls in this room, because you are doing something called four-walling. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Now, four-walling is a very simple process, right? You just call somebody up and use the room, and you build it, and they will come, right? It's super easy.
It's just that easy. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC.
Right.
It's just like that.
I don't know why everybody's not doing this, right?
I don't know why either, man. I think anyone.
All right, truth be told, it's a lot of work. I've done this before. I've four-walled a hotel downtown Houston, the Hilton
Talent
Americas.
Productions.
Several years. I had several people helping me out. You have a big team. Who's your teammates in your big production here?
So it's a two-man operation. It's me and my wife.
Right.
And we have partnered with the Four Seasons Hotel to produce this magic show, Magic, Music, and Mayhem. Truth be told, it's in our 4th year, and we recently moved here effective July. But for 3 years, we were at the Column Door Hotel, a little boutique Fondren mansion on Montrose Boulevard in the Museum District of town. But they had to close down for major renovation and big project that they're working on. So we found a temporary place to stay at the Museum of Natural Science until we found a more long-term solution, the Four Seasons. So
right, and tonight you just did a couple of shows. They're fantastic, by the way. So if you are ever in Houston, you need to come see this guy. So where can they find out information about your show?
Yeah, so our show takes place here at the Four Seasons. It's at benjacksonmagic.com, benjacksonmagic.com. Each show is capped at 60 adults with a cocktail in hand. It's a parlor show, and we move a mile a minute, high energy fun, and we usually do about 2 weekends a month, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And but all that information is on the website.
And that's fantastic information. And again, I highly recommend you come see the show. But let's give our viewers a couple of tips.
Yeah.
Like for example, for me, the one thing you want to do about considering to do a four-wall type event is, number one, you have to have a show that is worthy of of getting people to buy tickets and come out and seeing you, right?
I agree with you.
So you have to take a look in the mirror and decide, am I really ready for this type of endeavor before you jump in? So that's number one. You got to have a really good show. Mm-hmm. Number two is you have to partner with a place and find a good location. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a great location. My problem was parking was pretty expensive because I'm in downtown. But
sure.
But a beautiful hotel. I ran it for a couple of years. Here, you're in downtown as well, so centrally located.
Yep.
So you've got a beautiful place, centrally located, and you partnered with the hotel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I agree with you. When it comes to finding a location, there are several factors you need to consider. One of it, number one, is the venue where you're hosting your show a destination setting? Do people want to come to it, as opposed to doing the show at the Marriott? I feel like it has to be something that is exciting. Like, of course, we all took the lesson from Steve Cohen, the Waldorf Astoria. It has the ambiance, it has the elegance, it has that feel that you want to create. So we did something very similar. Or Dennis Watkins at the Palmer House Hotel, same idea. Secondly, for me, when it comes to finding a good venue is it financially viable? I mean, that should be a no-brainer, but based upon a four-wall contract, when you're renting the space and you're paying for the room, it is that risk-reward situation. So how many tickets do you need to sell to break even to pay for the room? That's another thing you have to consider, of course, because you might find a gorgeous room that costs you an arm and a leg, and your risk is way too high, and you can be in the red, but you want to be in the black every single time. Also, something I also consider is, what is the consistency of the rental? Because we know that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can walk into a hotel and say, hey, I want to rent out a space for you on a one time. Right. And they can give you the space and like, oh yeah, we have room for you, but how can you ensure that you are getting that same space again and again and again? So trying to find either a destination where you can convert a space that's less in demand, or finding a win-win situation with the hotel with the space that is in demand, but communicating the value and the benefit that you bring to the hotel to make them say yes. And the last thing that I always consider is storage. See, for us here at the hotel, we really try to raise the production level of our program. So I'm on an elevated platform, there's a sound system, television screen, I play the piano in the show, I have 2 theatrical lighting trees here in the back of the room, all controlled autonomously with QLab. I'm running off this stuff on my MacBook Pro, but we need a home for this, and it's not practical for us to plug it back and forth every time. So that was another thing that we needed, was someplace we can store it, so that we allowed that. We got that to happen here.
Well, I will say this is a really impressive setup. You do have the light trees here. It's all DMX computer controlled. My operation was a little simpler, although I did have lighting, sound system, that kind of thing. We never used video in our productions. However, what you're doing here is it really creates a theatrical environment in a hotel.
Well, thank you.
So that's really another key, is creating that theatrical ambiance. You don't have to invest in this type of setup, because in fact this is new for you.
Yes.
You've done a few things and have elevated the show one step at a time in the 4 years.
Yeah, I did not go in and just plop down a bunch of cash and say, let's just get all the bells and whistles right now. You're right. You know, when we were at Le Colondor Hotel, the show took place in an art gallery, and we utilized the track lighting that was in the room. So they had all the lighting heads that were angled down normally to illuminate the paintings. We angled them to create focal lighting, theater lighting, theatrical lighting.
Exactly.
And that was an easy fix, and that worked out really well. You know, I had my own stage just built, a bunch of carpeted black boxes that were just pushed together. I could stand on a stage. And in that time, we only had 4 rows of seats, not 5 like we have now. And I didn't have any IMAG. We now do IMAG in the show just a little bit.
And just to interrupt you there, with the IMAG, what that means is magnification, using a camera and using a larger screen, so you can do that close-up type of material in your show.
Right.
Now let me also clarify, your show, it uses that as an enhancement, but I'm not coming to your show and sitting here watching a TV screen.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a live performance, and the video magnification is enhancing your performance.
Yeah.
So I really love the way you've used it, and not too much, but just the right amount.
Yeah, you know, and Trigg Watson has a good way of looking at it. He uses his image magnification use as a magnifying glass. That's kind of how he describes it. I always thought that was a nice way to describe it. It's just to enhance, hey, let's see that signature on that bill, or hey, let's see that these Rubik's cubes match, or let's watch this guy break this block of ice, just to help. And I don't want my audience to come out to the show and say, gosh, I paid X amount of dollars to come see this show, and I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching the TV screen the entire time. That's no good. They need to see live theater magic that happens inches away from their face.
Well, I try to keep these videos kind of short and sweet, so we've given you
Not
guys...
tonight. We got to keep on going. Let's keep on.
No, we can't give everything away,
That's
but we've
true.
given you guys some real tips on how to be successful in four-walling your event. So I want to hear from you. Type in your comments below. I want to know, have you tried four-walling? Do you want to try four-walling? Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. If you have questions for Ben, you can contact Ben through his website, and he might be able to help you out as well. But anything else you can think of about build it and they will come?
Oh man, well, I always agree with the sentiment that content is king, and yes, that is above all else. Do you have a show? And in our case, it's a 90-minute show. We feel like that should be the minimum for a full-length theatrical experience, is an hour and a half. It's like a one-act play. There's no intermission. We go full tilt. And I don't have everything figured out, but I feel confident enough that the program I put on is worthy of the price tag, and that people walk out buzzing, excited, happy. And yeah, it is scary. It is that risk reward. You're putting yourself out there, and I feel like the more confident you can become in your acting material, probably the more successful that you'll be, because you'll know I have a polished piece of theater that I think will appeal to the masses.
Well, you heard it here. This is some real world advice. And I've got 2 more tips for you really quick. Tip number 1 is that if you want to grow your mailing list, because when you sell tickets, you're only going to get one person's email for a party of 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 people.
Yep.
And how do you get those other email addresses? What I did was I had a sign-up list in the back. If you signed up for the email list, you would get a ticket, and that ticket was for a door prize. Now, in my case, because the show's changed every month, they wanted to come back and see the show. Not that you don't have repeat business, you do, but in that situation, it was a little easier for me, and that's how I grew my list. And I have thousands now of real paying audience members' email addresses. And what was the other tip I was going to tell you? Well, I gave them one. The other tip was, I don't know.
Well, let's just keep it between us then.
I guess so. Leave a comment, and you will see me on the next Art of Magic episode.
See you, team.
Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel.